Hello, hello, hello. This is Dion Brown, licensed therapist here in the DMV, founder of DJB Therapeutic Solutions, and best-selling author of Non-Negotiable Self-Care. Welcome, welcome, everyone, as we continue our virtual book tour. We're continuing our virtual book tour, and we're going to be talking today about self-care and the elderly. If you're tuning in on Facebook, this broadcast should be public, so you should be able to share it. You should be able to share it, send to Messenger. We'll also be on YouTube under DMV Therapist, and we are elated this afternoon because we have two gentlemen that we're going to introduce. We're going to bring on who's going to talk with us about the elderly and self-care. Now, when we talk about the term self-care in general, there's a few things that we want to mention. Self-care, it is the practice of taking action to preserve and improve one's own health. Self-care is the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's well-being and happiness in particular periods of stress. It is also the practice of giving ourselves the same grace, compassion, and care that we would give to other people. So, as we stated earlier, we are elated and excited to have two gentlemen who have levels of expertise in dealing with self-care and the elderly. The first individual we're going to introduce, his name is Kenneth Clemens. Kenneth Clemens is a certified health coach. He has a business entitled Intellectual Strength. He has a copyright in the Library of Congress for creating substantial changes with people. He has a bachelor's in family studies and human development, as well as he served 8 years in the Marine Corps. So without further ado, we want to bring in and welcome Mr. Kenneth Clemens. Hello, sir.
How you doing, Dr. Brown?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. We're glad to have you here and to share with us in this vital discussion and dialogue about self-care and the elderly. All right. Now, we have another gentleman who's going to be joining us talking about this important subject. His name is LeVar Jones. LeVar has worked unapologetically to ensure that young people discover and thrive in their God-given purpose. He served as a youth pastor and working for a nonprofit professional, developing initiatives in the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore area. He has been a former team director of the FBR Club in Southeast DC, does a tremendous amount in their lives presently. He has also launched a nonprofit organization, Project Goodman, an initiative and intergenerational mentoring experience focused on ensuring the legacy of Black manhood. He is a native Washingtonian, lover of the arts, an avid home chef. That's true. I've seen some of his food. He resides in Alexandria as a caregiver for his parents and lives his life based on Galatians 6:9. Be not weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. There's some other things in reference to him as well as Mr. Clemens, but I just wanted to read some of their information. We're going to bring in, without further ado, Mr. LeVar Jones. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Mr.
Good afternoon.
Jones.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to this rendition of self-care and the elderly. Again, for our listening audience, as we proceed, we're going to go through some things in reference to self-care and the elderly. As we proceed, for our listening audience, we're going to ask that if you have a question or comment, please feel free to comment in the comment section. We'll see it. We'll respond to it appropriately. Please like and share this broadcast. We're also broadcasting on YouTube under DMV Therapist. We're also broadcasting on YouTube under DMV Therapist. All right, gentlemen. Self-care and the elderly. Are we ready?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. So let's start a little general. When you hear and think of the word, and what we're going to do, this is going to be a discussion. So either of you can feel free to chime in at any point as you see fit. When you hear the word self-care in general, what what tends to come to your mind when you hear the word self-care? What comes to your mind? What type of thoughts? When you hear the word self-care, what comes to your mind?
Taking care of myself. Real basic, real simple. Just making sure I'm okay first.
Okay. Let me stay
Yeah.
there for a second. Why is it okay? Why is it okay to make sure you are okay first? Good point.
I mean, not to be selfish, but I think taking care of somebody else and not putting yourself first, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, I love you, but I love me more than I love you.
Okay.
That's all. Nothing personal.
That's good. That's good. Because oftentimes people struggle with the concept and the idea that that self-care in some sort of way is selfish. But in essence, one of the things that I talk about in the book is that you have to be a good provider of other people before you can, good provider rather of yourself before you can adequately care for other people, right? That
Right.
makes sense. Okay. Mr. Jones, what
Yeah.
comes to your mind when you hear the word self-care?
When you said it, there was an exhale that came out first, and I think it's cool because I think Kenneth provides one end, and I had to work myself to that space. I was one of those people who was of the ignorant thought that self care was selfish. That and I got to put people first. But I always look at, and I've heard several people use the illustration about when you're on a plane and the flight attendant is going through the safety thing, and they say, if the mask drops down, put your mask on first, get yourself situated, and then you help somebody else. So for me, when I hear self care, it really is revolutionary, it's radical, because now I am, after many years of not thinking that way, I am understanding the value of putting self first. Love your neighbor as yourself. So I
Yeah.
can't really fully love my neighbor if I don't really fully love myself, and all that means. And I think that that's a full term. Self care is a whole lot of different things, but at the core of it, it is making sure that you are good.
It is. You
Right.
know that airplane example is so true. I've been on the, those that know I travel some, and um, I always wonder. I haven't, thank God, I have not been in a situation yet. Um, the stewardess and all of the staff, they do a great job of trying to demonstrate it. I always wondered to myself, in a moment of panic and anxiety, would I be able to remember what they demonstrated? Because I've seen this demonstration plenty of times. I think I'll take a video next time. It's a good idea just to have it, just in
No,
case.
forget it one time. I promise you, won't forget it again. Okay.
well,
Yeah,
hopefully we're never in a situation, prayerfully,
yeah.
where that's needed. But yes, apply the self-care to you first. That's vitally important. It is not selfish to want to take care of you first to be able to help other people. Now, let's go a little deeper here because we're looking at self-care and seniors. So obviously, you gentlemen are in your
40s.
and LeVar is, yeah, you both are in your 40s, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I get confused. I think, yeah, LeVar, you're deceptive for a few reasons. So that's a good thing, I guess, for
Yes,
you.
sir.
Right.
So
So
I stay with the youngers. They keep me
yeah,
young.
absolutely, absolutely. So being men in your 40s, and you both have parents that you deal with regularly in reference to their own self-care. Do you believe that seniors? I wasn't going to include a chapter at first until a good friend of mine said, it may be good to incorporate a chapter in here in reference to seniors. And I talked with a lady at my church who I value and respect about seniors a lot. Do you guys believe or think that most seniors tend to think that they need to incorporate self-care into their lives? Why or why not? You think that it comes up for seniors? Do they even think about that? They need to or look at it as self-care.
I think it's a challenge. I work in.
Yeah. No, I was
I think
agreeing
it's
with you.
yeah. I think it's a challenge for I look at seniors, and two examples come to mind. So a good mentor and friend of mine who is a senior retired. I think about the men and women who retire who are are seniors, and that's a point where they're supposed to go and practice self care. Well, many of them then pick up other things or hobbies or tasks, and it may not necessarily be that they are thinking that way. And then I think even about, the situation where I am, with my parents now. And, I think mothers are always going to be mothers. I don't care how old you are. You will always be their baby. You run around here, be 60 years old and still be your mama's baby. And so I think in many ways, that changing of the guard where children become the caregiver. I think it's tricky for some seniors, for some parents to really step into that role and say, okay, well, let me now put myself first. I've done the job of raising my child, and clearly they're in a position now to help me. Let me turn the lens inward. I think it's a challenge for some of them.
Yep. Dr. Liz Holloway says mothers will be mothers. This is true. All
that's
the time.
Dion, that's your next book, Dion. How to unmother the mothers. Not to stop them from being mothers, but I think again to really help mothers. And I use it as a perfect example because I'm a mama's boy and extremely close with mine. Just to get them to understand this, there has to be a phase where you let us, like you did for many years, let us. It's our turn to make sure that you are good, and in essence, then turn that towards yourself and take good care of yourself.
And that brings me to a really good point, because I'm a 100% mama's boy from birth to the day I die. I will never deny it. Our mothers look at us as children, and when we say stuff to them, all they hear is all the promises that we made to them as kids. Ma, if you get me this toy, I promise. Ma, if you give me this $20, I promise. My, and it never happens, right? Because we're kids. Well, condition that over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Ma, you need to take care of yourself. She'd be like, yeah, all right. Right. Because that is just the habit. What I had to do with my own mother personally, and I see this a lot, I had to get her to trust and believe that what I was saying was true and accurate. And it took a while for me to gain that trust with her, right? It's a different trust where, you got $20 on the table and we don't touch it. But when we're trying to get them to take care of themselves, change their habits, that is a different line of trust that our parents necessarily don't see their children having, because it's been the other way around for 40 years, and they have to let go. And my mom will never let go. I don't even fight it. I pick my battles, and I recommend do not fight with your parents, telling them to stop being mom and dad. You just have to trick them a little bit.
There you go.
That's
I
good.
agree 100%.
That's very good.
For your own self-care, that's what you have to do.
That's what you got to do. You got to put yourself first.
Yeah.
Okay. And think about how it impacts them or what you're saying, and what their reaction is to you, because you play a role in your own self-care as we're trying to help them with theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Absolutely. With seniors and self-care, sometimes they face challenges or barriers to their own self-care. And so we're going to look at that in a second, but it looks like we have a few comments. Oh, Dr. Holloway said again, they don't listen. So yeah, that can happen as well. Sometimes there's barriers to self-care and seniors incorporating self-care into their lives. What do you from a day-to-day or week-to-week standpoint for you all, what have you seen with your own parents as some of the barriers to maybe them incorporating into their lives?
My mom is a workaholic. People who know my history, and my mom, she is 64, and she just started to work one job. She always had a minimum of 3. I had to start saying, Mom, I'm not 16 anymore. Mom, I'm not in the house anymore. You do not have to work that hard. Start putting yourself first. Go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. Go get a massage. The things that I do for myself, my mom was never able to do for her own. Not that she couldn't afford it. It's just that she always put me first. So everything came to me. So now I'm pouring everything back into her, trying to get her to take notice of her own health and her own mental stability, as to putting herself first. So now she's not working as much overtime. She's down to 1 job. She's not working overnight as much. She'll take a day job, a day shift, escorting somebody, which isn't as strenuous. That right there, I started pointing it out to her, and she started to take care of herself better that way, just at work.
Yeah, I think I think a part of it too is fear. You know, I think there's that this idea of change, and you know, you have had a mindset and a way of doing things for many years, and particularly if you are an independent type of person, you've been used to doing on your own. I think, you know, in my case, you know, when I look at my mom, she was that, and so now where there are choices that you have to make for your health, for your betterment, that do require you to, you know, to relinquish some of that to other people, even if it is someone that's close to you, you know, as your child. That fear can kick in, and you know, we all know fear is paralyzing. Fear is a very real emotion that can have lots of different impacts on people, and I think it can be one of those reasons why, out of that fear, I don't do the things that I need to do, because it's a way of me accepting that which I don't want to accept. I may not want to accept the reality of this moment, and so if I continue to push it away, maybe it'll go away. We all know that that's not the case, that it will still be there. And so I think, again, Kenneth said that, you know, that trust piece, even when it is their child, you know, and you have to build that, you know. And I tell my mom all the time, you know, we've gotten into a good groove. If I say I'm going to do X, Y, Z, relax. I try not to say chill out. I try, you know, that respect line gets thinner, I think, as this relationship gets tighter. So I don't tell her chill out, but I just say, if I say I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, I've already put in motion a plan. So, you know, to Kenneth's point, you can now trust and start to build trust based on that. Because if I say I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and then I do it, and I repeat that, and that becomes habitual, then you can rest and know that I'm going to do that. So I think helping them to address the fear that comes with that, which is natural, anytime when you're dealing with change.
Yep, and that is a big lifestyle change and adjustment, a developmental phase, especially if there's situations where parents either have to or need to, or would be beneficial for them to let go of some of their independence, to trust and rely on their, in this case, son, to it's kind of like a role reversal, right? Like a switch. Like now at this point in stage in my life, with me being older, elderly, maybe some health issues, it is in my best interest to let my son, who I took care of when he was in diapers, take care of me now. That's a huge task for a lot of parents to possibly mentally and emotionally deal with.
That is true, Dion. And so when I graduated college, I gave my mom my diploma, and I said, "Ma, I did that because of you. Like, you allowed me to go to college. You sent me to the right schools. You gave me the right tutors. Like, you made sure I was okay. So now I'm coming back. You invested in me. Now here comes your dividend, and you telling me no? Like let's stop. Let's stop and think. All right. So what I had to do with the health, I helped her with her health. Once she came off, and I'm gonna always say this: once she came off her high blood pressure medication, and the doctor cleared her for 2 years that she didn't have to come back at 64, that's when the light bulb came on for my mother. She was like, "Wait a minute, my son, he has something. Let me listen to him some more." And her half a pill that she used to take for having high blood pressure, accepting it was not good enough for me. I said, "I'm gonna get you off all of it. I'm gonna show you that your investment paid off, that I know what I'm talking about. I'm confident in what I'm saying. And other than that, if you don't trust me, then all those years you invested in me was a lie."
My goodness.
All those years.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful.
I had to tell her that. I'm like, everything you did for me was a lie. if you're going to sit here and fight me, don't educate
Wow.
me and send me to those schools over there. And then when I come back talking like them, acting like them, learning like them, believing like them, you going to fight me? Denise, get your mind right, baby. Come on, mama. I need you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's good. That's true. Very good. We got a comment that came in. Good stuff. Yeah, Dr. Holloway said that's good. Yeah, it is. That's very good and very. Don't fight me if you don't. That's
Don't
true.
fight me.
Yeah, that's good. That's
You should have just said you don't need to go to school, son. You fine. You don't need to go to work. Go do something illegal. Go get locked up. We good. We straight. But she didn't do that.
Right.
She did not. She didn't.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We in the book, in reference to more comments. Oh, your mother chimed in.
Uh-oh. Okay, my mother is learning how to work Zoom and all of these new technologies.
You got another
good job,
comment.
Francis.
You got another comment, Kenneth. I think this is hurled at you. What you shared with your mother and how somebody said she didn't windmill you after that.
See, and that's the thing. My mom don't play no games. You know, she cuts no cards. And she only did it out of love. That's all.
Yeah.
So I'm giving back to her what she gave me, and I don't cut no cards or play no games. I'm not going to windmill her, but I'm gonna throw all that food out the house that was causing her harm. She didn't feed it to me, so why would I let her to do it? Right?
I unfortunately can actually see you physically throwing somebody's food away.
Yeah. Oh, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Don't care.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to get mad at me for saving your life because that's what I did. My mom dropped 40 pounds and it saved her life. So you're going to get mad at me? That's fine. Awesome. Get mad at me. I love you.
Yeah.
Yep. I love you.
Cool. In the book, we go over a number of tools and tips in reference to seniors. One of those things we mentioned, and I actually had praise God, I actually had a mother of a young adult away at college hit me up and who has some mental health concerns, and she mentioned that her daughter grabbed a whole lot of stuff from the book, but one of the things her daughter grabbed was the importance of this. And her daughter's a college student, but it's equally applied for seniors too. How important do you think it is for seniors to have some time outside, especially like daylight, as far as vitamin D and in reference to their overall wellness? How important do we think that is?
Go ahead, LeVar, because I'll ramble on.
Nah, it's crucial. So we made the decision, short version, Dion knows that, our family's experience. My mom was hospitalized for 4 months last year, February, and a month and a half rehab after that. So we had a whole, experience. And so made the decision to reunite under the same roof, come together, to make sure she had the support she needed when she came home. One of the things that was important was what types of amenities we could exist in that would lend itself to her self-care. So where they were before, in a garden style apartment in the suburbs, not a lot of, small windows, etc. So I wanted something particularly with big windows, big open windows, light, with beautiful spaces to be able to get out. They were up steps in the last apartment. And so to get outside was the balcony. That was it. But it was facing inward. So there was typically no light. So we wanted somewhere where there were, where she could easily access light, outdoors, nature, birds, bugs, the whole nine. And so, we were fortunate to get a place in Alexandria that offers all of that. Even now, to sit here, and my mom, in full transparency, is sitting right next to me. And so, when the blinds are open and that light can come in and she can get access to that, it makes the world a difference. It can make, and so on days like this where there's not a lot of sunlight outside, we know the impacts of being in the house for 2 years because of COVID and being just stuck in those spaces. So it's critical, man. Nature is a big part of it. To be able to get away from the buzz of electronics, you'd be surprised how much noise your refrigerator and just the lights and the systems in your apartment make until you get outside and can experience the stillness, of just God's glory, man, just to be in that space. And so it was important for us to find a space like that. And so we've already said, now that the weather is breaking, we're going to plan some mother-son luncheons out on the courtyard area, open space, out on the deck. And again, just so she can have that and be intentional about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Everything Navar said, I agree 100%. My mom is on the 8th floor, huge balcony window. The balcony, the sliding glass door. When you open it up, she's on the top floor. You see all the trees and everything, and she loves it. You couldn't get her to move out of that apartment if you paid her. Like, it's an argument sometimes between her and I, because I don't like it, but she loves it. And long as she gets that daylight and that sun and that view, I'm happy. Long as she's happy, I'm happy. So yeah. I agree with everything LeVar says.
Absolutely. Another thing we talk about in the book is the sense of the importance and the sense of community for the elderly. So one of the things I'm looking right now in the book, it talks about as humans, we're not made or created to exist in isolation. We're social creatures by nature. Consequently, spending time with family and friends can create a positive impact on our mental health. A great form of self-care for seniors involves the act of socialization. One technique is to plan a weekly phone call or even a dinner with a loved one. And with advancements in technology, we are aware that many seniors also, some seniors are not tech savvy, others are kind of learning. So seniors can benefit from using video options like Skype, Duo, Google Meet, FaceTime for individuals with iPhones and iPads. These video options provide a closer face-to-face option in a virtual context. Even if you have to schedule these type of events, make it official, putting it down in your calendar. Seniors, obviously your parents have you, but you guys, but also a sense of community with other people, friends, family, and or other seniors. How do you see your parents, or how would you like to see them engage more? How do you see them, or how would you like to see them engage more in a sense of community?
With my mom, she does really well using the phone, FaceTime, Zoom. But before COVID, she went to school to learn computers. I said, Ma, you need to learn how to work this technology. Let school teach you. So she went to Baltimore City Community College, because it's free for seniors to take these classes. It's free. Baltimore City Community College offers free classes for seniors. Okay. Nice. Hey, ask my mother. She'll give you all the information. She took a computer course. Once she got the basics, I was able to tutor her through the rest. So now she's okay with getting on the phone, talking to her sister in California, talking to her brother, and talking to her other sister. They iPhones, and she know how to use Zoom. That's how she got her job she's on now, through Zoom. She had to do a Zoom interview. So she is very intertwined in the community with her age and doesn't feel left out. A lot of seniors, I think, feel left out because of things are tech savvy. They're not used to going. I'm paying the grocery store with a check. That young, paying with a check. Like, we don't have to do that no more. You just tap your phone on there. Well, seniors like, what is it? They get confused, and it's stressful for them to be at a line trying to figure out how to work all the technology, and you got people behind you 30, 40, 50 years younger than you, impatient because they know it. So to keep my mom from feeling that, I made sure she understood it, because she prepared me for this world so I wouldn't have that feeling, and I'd be damned if I'm gonna let my mom go through this world with that same feeling.
100% and 100% in agreement with you, man. I'm again, mom is sitting here right now, and if I could adjust my computer on her iPad, getting her movie selection from Netflix and HBO Max before she goes to dialysis, so she has her movie downloaded. It's two things. I made sure, the same thing with Kenneth, I made sure to school and educator. Now, we didn't have the free classes here, but It wasn't robbery for me to make sure she got an iPhone, she learned how to use it, we learned how to FaceTime. Now I still need to get her to not do like FaceTime right here. You can pull it back just a smidge. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I love her.
Don't get slapped. Don't slap the mama.
Look, if you see my head go down.
Right, don't slap the mama.
Ah,
But
that's
I
funny.
love how she has embraced it. I mean, she knows how to navigate Facebook and connect and has found old friends and the such. But one of the things on the flip side of that, one of the things I was very clear when she, I think over the last few years, but definitely within the last 2 years, as we've adjusted to some of her health challenges. And I told her, I said respectfully, I said that you got to have a life. And like we two peas in a pod, but it can't be you and me 24/7. That's not going to be good self care for me. That's not going to be good for you. You got to be able to connect. And so I'm so proud of her because even as she's come back home to this new reality, she's talking and connecting more with friends from, 20, 30, 40 years ago. She's making it her business to, keep in touch even more with her sister, her last living sister who's now moved out of the area, and she's embracing that. She's embracing what community means, and really not shying away from that. And even the parts of the community that she's been adopted into, like nobody in my circle calls her Mrs. Jones. That's Mama. That's Ma. That's the Queen. That's all those things. And so even for Mother's Day, she got some voice text from some of my kids who reached out to her, and I watched how she, how it affected her. So I appreciate how she has opened herself to being open to community and being a part and not allowing, herself to get sort of lost and stuck in that world. And I think it's easy. I feel for, and one of the things we're doing at the Boys and Girls Club this summer is having our teens to write letters to seniors who are, because the reality is that every senior doesn't have a Kenneth or a LeVar. Who is in their ear, who's in their life. And my heart really goes out to seniors, who are just trying to do this thing by themselves, and who are isolated. I've had my own personal dealings with isolation. That's a scary place to be. And so, I appreciate and I applaud my mom really for, she's a big girl. She put a big girl pants on, and she, learned again how to reach out and connect and embrace what community looks like in a lot of different ways.
Thank you. Good. A topic I'm sure Kenneth is going to love this question. Let's discuss seniors and exercise. Do we think that a lot of seniors engage actively in exercise? And if they do, do we think that seniors engage actively in exercise? And if they do, what are some common forms of exercise that seniors in general, whether you guys parents do or not, I don't know, but in the general sense, do we think that many seniors, I traveled around to a few different gyms in the DMV, and I do see some, it varies per location. I see some seniors who are in much better shape than me. But when we talk about seniors and exercise, do you think a lot of seniors, because exercise is a form of self-care too, right? Exercise is a form of self-care. Do we think that a good amount of seniors engage in exercise? And if so, what forms of exercise do we usually see them do?
Just based on, because it's demographic play a huge role. Being out here where I'm at, the gym ACAC, it really caters to that population tremendously. So I've seen people 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, still deadlifting, still squatting, running on the treadmill, taking body pump. I have some ladies in my class who are, 55 and older who take my classes. I know a lot of them do swimming at that pool, but again, not all clubs are senior friendly. And a lot of seniors are intimidated, or they just don't know because fitness was not a huge part of their culture growing up, just overall. And it's really hard for seniors to find a gym that caters to their needs, even if they didn't know. Like your mom, I'm pretty sure my mother would not feel comfortable training with a 22-year-old personal trainer, right, who just got their certification. And that will never happen.
Right. We get,
No,
we got,
that'll never happen long as I'm alive. Right. And it's hard. But just a brisk walk, walking up and down the stairs. I tell my mom, you know, walk the halls if you can at work. If you get off from work early and it's not too dark, she's on the 8th floor, start from the first floor, walk up to the 8th floor. Get used to moving, because once you sit still too long, that's when things start to go bad, right? It really does. So I recommend seniors look up places that are senior friendly when they go to these organizations, clinics, gyms, whatever. You may want to look for equipment that they can get in and out of easily. They want to look for cleanliness, right? We do not need our mothers stepping over dumbbells and plates. Okay. It's good to have a pool for seniors. That is a really good exercise for them to get in and out of. So I recommend that. So those are 3 things that I will look for. If my mom says, son, I want to go to the gym and I don't want you to train me. All right, Denise, that's fine. She also does get on Baltimore City Community College, has a free exercise class for seniors. And since she knows how to work Zoom, they use Zoom. So that's what she takes twice a week free.
Nice.
And I bought her dumbbells, band straps, all the stuff she needs to be able to do the workout. So yes.
Let me comment briefly on that. There are some gyms, Kenneth, that do tend to cater more towards seniors classes. I think I used to go here a long time ago. I don't have a membership now, but I think the YMCA seems to be pretty good with classes and particular stuff. You know, they have a whole population of stuff that they do for seniors.
The Y is perfect. The Y is perfect. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's affordable. It meets their needs. It's perfect.
Yeah. And I think depending on where you live, I know in DC, the DC Office of Aging runs centers in most of the wards that will offer, and I think everything we've talked about today, all the types of self-care, physical, socialization and community. We've done some volunteer work with them before, the one in Ward 8. One of the ones in Ward 8. I think that, I think there's great things. I think PG County Parks and Planning still has some. I'm not as connected with them as I was before. But I would throw in too, one of the issues for us in terms of movement is mobility. Due to a lot of health issues, she can't. We're not going to do floor 1 through 8. But what we found and what we're learning are what are things that you can do when mobility is an issue that you can do while you're sitting. So if she's in a wheelchair, what are some things that she can do? So she's got, when she came home from the hospital, we're fortunate, got good insurance, so in-home therapists, occupational, physical, were able to come in. So she's got the stress ball, she's got the little weight, she's got the resistance band. And man, you should see it. She got the Incredible Hulk in here with the red resistance band, pulling. And I watch her, and the lightness in her eye when she does good, and she feels accomplished. So not only is there a physical sense, but then I think that the emotional and mental and spiritual aspect of that accomplishment. I think again we talked about the fear that some of our seniors deal with this. Those types of moments help to take away that fear. So see, now she's about to show off. She moving back like she's about to get her band.
Absolutely. You talked it up. You talked it up. Yeah. One of my clients did tell me that several of my clients, because I have clients throughout the. I know. I've learned from clients and other people. I'm well aware where So Kenneth, I don't know. Kenneth might not know this. LeVar knows this. What I'm about to say. It's just a quick aside.
Okay.
So the DMV area, right? So the DMV has to deal with the District of Columbia, parts of Maryland, and Virginia. Experts in the DMV know and understand that Baltimore is not a part of the DMV. We are not included. We are a step out. We are excluded.
Why would we?
We are kicked to the side. You have to live and or work or something like that in a certain part of Maryland but even like things like certain counties going like Ocean City is not, and Ocean City is kind of half Maryland, half Delaware, not included in the DMV. No. But I say all that to say several of my clients have educated me that there is a good amount of services in the DC region for seniors.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have the level, Baltimore City at least, we don't have the level of services for seniors like that I hear are in the DC region. Several of my clients have boasted very strongly about the benefits of them living or residing in the DC region and having access to those services. So.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, even we moved to Alexandria, and I'm learning some of the ones that are here as well.
Nice.
But kind of trust and believe. I'm a student at Prince George's Community College. I will be going to them to say, hey, so in Baltimore, here's what they're doing for the seniors.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that's beautiful. But there are, and I think the same. I'm learning as well, not just resources for seniors, but for the caregivers of seniors as well. So I'm starting to get into and doing some research and finding that sense of community and groups, et cetera, because that, that's a big part. I hope I'm not jumping down, but I mean, that's a big part too, as we find those resources for seniors, we as caregivers for them have to make sure that we have those resources for ourselves too.
Oh, absolutely. Very important. Very important. Now let's look at something important I mentioned in the book too. Doctor visits and senior compliance. So I'm sure that both of you may help in this arena. What has been your experiences with caring for your moms as far as doctor visits, medical appointments? Them following up, taking meds, that sort of stuff. That's part of. Listen, whether you're 30, like Kenneth said, I used to be on high blood pressure years ago before I learned to eat better. Over maybe now, thank God, over maybe 10 years ago, I used to be on high blood pressure until I learned how to eat better, exercise, take care of myself better. But whether you're 30 or almost 70. Medication compliance and doctor's appointments are an important component of self-care. What has been you guys' experience in dealing with your parents concerning them going to their appointments, following up, taking their medicines, following the doctor's orders, blah, blah, blah?
But my mom, I'm not sure how old your mom is, LeVar, but my mom drives, she goes to the doctor regularly. And that's what made me start focusing on getting her off her medication, because all her medication was just, self-induced, health-related diseases that we could fix just changing our lifestyle. So with that, she's always going to the doctors, getting checked to make sure she stays compliant. It's because there's no reason for her not to stay compliant. We don't do that. We don't do that. We stay compliant over here. That doesn't make sense.
Part of our rationale behind moving, in together was so that and my mom's in her 70s. So as she gets older, and there's a list of things. She had a transplant several years ago, and so there's a list of things, and I do Ken, we can talk offline at some point, because I do want to maybe talk to you about some of the things again, like you said, that we can't control. But I knew coming into this, I wanted to manage those things for her. So that's one less thing that she then has to, not worry about. So, we're fortunate to have, all of us have Kaiser, my mom, my father, and myself. And Kaiser lets you can serve as the proxy on their online account. And so now from my one space, I can manage everybody's appointments. We've got a shared Google Calendar, because there are all many pieces moving on the Jones puzzle. And so, we can manage all of those things, medicines, I manage that, for my mom. And these, again, were choices. And she'll sit and watch, as we kind of do that. And we've come down, I will say, God be praised, we have come down from the number of medications that she was on initially to where we are now. So I'm definitely grateful for that. But I think for me, that was just a choice in terms of, making the decision to be a caregiver in this way and in this space to manage those things. It's easier for me. So that way, I'm in regular communication with her medical team, with the dialysis team at the clinic. They know me, they hear me. But then I, again, am proud of her that she's embraced what it means to make sure that she's managing that for herself as well. So she's a part of those decisions. She knows how to do the video call with the doctor, from her phone or from the Kaiser app. She can do that on her own without me. I thought she needed me in that, but she said, no, I got you. I'm good. So, I appreciate the fact that she does that, but there is a level of management of that just makes it easier for me. I think in terms of helping to manage our household.
Oh, wow. That's great. It's good stuff. As far as doctor appointments and visits, I go over several things that's good for seniors to do when they are going to visit their doctor, to talk to their, one is talking to their doctor, making a list of important subjects that they want to talk about with their doctor, bringing their medications, vitamins, and other remedies. I'm transitioning to a new PCP, and one of the things, I haven't done it yet, but I need to, speaking of compliance, she wants me to go into the system and input all of my supplements and vitamins. And so I just got to take the time to do that. But that's, sometimes true story, truth, authentic truth. Sometimes it's good for seniors too, to bring, sometimes seniors go alone, but other times, one of the things I mentioned in the book, where if you're online or you're watching this later on YouTube and you have not purchased my bestseller, you can go to my website /book here and purchase a copy of Non-Negotiable Self-Care. One of the things that's good is for seniors sometimes to bring company to their visit. A close friend or family member can be a valuable asset during the visit. This can prove to be helpful if you forget or overlook something. They don't have to be in the room or space the entire time with your doctor, and seniors can have the freedom, of course, to decide what that looks like. So there's a lot of things that caregivers like yourself can help seniors with, when it pertains to going to the doctors. Now, another important aspect of self-care with seniors has to deal with sleep. With sleep, and seniors getting enough sleep. Sleep is also one of the self-care core 4 that I mentioned in the book, at the back of the book. That's important. And before let me see if we got a comment coming in. Good, thank you. Whoa. Someone said I'm reading your book on my self-care cruise in a few days. Awesome. Travel is definitely a good part of self-care. When you read the book, and if you like what you read, definitely go to Amazon and write up a nice review. That'll be great. So, seniors and sleep, right? Sleep is one of the self-care core 4 items mentioned in the back of the book. I talk about it a number of times in ways. I am fortunate enough that I have a Western doctor and a naturopathic doctor. Dr. Andrea Sullivan. She is in DC, LeVar. She is Dr. Andrea Sullivan. She is a well-seasoned Black woman with naturopathic holistic medicine. She has several books out too. She's really good. One of the things she shared with me concerning sleep, when we looked at my own life and how well I take care of myself, she was referred to me by one of my senior clients. When we looked at my own life and how well I take care of myself, she said something to me that I strive hard to practice. She said, "Don't go to sleep." Yep. She said, "Don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up." She said, "Don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up." So, you're right. That's exactly, Kenneth, you see your face? That's exactly what I did when she said it. She said, "Don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up." So in essence, she was encouraging me when she said, "Don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up." And most time I strive to do that. Most of the time, weekends can get a little tricky, but during the work week, I do that. It's concerning sleep. She said, "Don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up." So in essence, that means go to sleep before midnight, so that when you go to sleep.
So Dan, let me make sure. I want to make sure, and I heard you clearly, and say it in case somebody might be close to me listening. You should go to sleep
He get ready to
Not
get slapped.
don't go to sleep on the same day. That's
He get
as
ready to
you
get
wake up.
slapped.
Don't go to sleep on the same day as you wake up. That's gospel.
Don't
And you see him look over too. He looking.
don't go to sleep. I love it. Oh boy. This is
Don't go
good.
to sleep on the same day as you wake up.
See, LeVar, I was smart. I saw my mom earlier today. When 11 o'clock came around, I left. I said, "Mom, I gotta go. I'm going to talk about you, so I'm gonna do it at my house, not here with you, not in arm's reach. Y'all know the drill. If you in arm's reach,
That is funny.
Oh man.
Don't go to sleep. Don't go to sleep on the
that's
same
good,
day
though.
that you wake up. So in essence, if you look at a regular 24-hour cycle and sleep patterns and our time schedule here, if you look at like a weekday, let's say a Wednesday, so that means on a Wednesday, the aim and the goal would be to go to sleep before 12, sometime before 12, as long as it's before 12, so that when you wake up, when your eyes open and you have a brand new day, fresh start, new mercy, etc., that you are starting your day on a different day. So yeah, don't go to sleep on the same day that you wake up.
I'm taking a note for myself.
A lot of people, listen.
Yeah.
When my naturopathic doctor said it to me, I was like, slap. It's like she was right, and I started practicing that, and it has done wonders for my sleep for sure. So
yeah, because that's crucial. And I tell my mom, both of us we're natural night owls. I mean, back in the day, we'll sit up late, whether it was just talking or spending time, and those things are great. But I realized just in this new season, we got to just do that in different time frames. We can't sit up all night. Old favorite was, that old, we call it the old burgundy snakeskin hymnal. We would sit, if I would visit sometimes and be up late and sit and just go through it and share it. We just got to do that at different hours because, again, at this point, rest is so crucial. I think for all of us, but especially as you get older, rest is crucial to everything else. It fuels everything else. It fuels your mood. It fuels your body. It fuels all of that. And if your rest is all, she does dialysis 3 days a week. That is a grueling process. Like that takes your body through a lot. Got to get your rest so that you can be ready, for what all of that does to you and for you. So.
You preaching to the choir. My sleep pattern is not as perfect as I would like it. I do struggle. Maybe the military played the role, or my mother, because my mother will literally sleep for 4 hours and go for 2 days and dance circles around you, and been doing it for years to the point where it's a part of her. So as she's getting older, I said, "Ma, get some rest, get some sleep." Her biological clock is so conditioned to run off of 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And I pick my battles with her. Okay. I'll just say that's that 1%, whatever, leave it alone. Let me find something else to help her with. But sleep.
Sleep is so important. Our mood, our focus, our concentration. Sleep is I share this a lot with my clients in general, all ages. Sleep affects how well you cope with stress or not. You're getting a good amount of, am I preaching? You get a good amount of, the more sleep you get, the more quantity, and let me say this, the more quantity and quality sleep you get, the better you are to cope with life's challenges, difficulties, and stressors. Because one thing you can't control sometimes is the stressors that come upon you from life. But one of the things you can control is how you process it, how you cope with those stressors. And part of that is getting enough sleep. That's why I included sleep as one of the self-care core 4 in the back of the book. So a lot of people, all ages, need help with working on better sleep, but it's vitally important, certainly for seniors as seniors age, because seniors' immune systems are not as strong as somebody younger. So good stuff. So, gentlemen, we are just about at that point. There was a case example in the book that I was going to go over, but we're going to scratch that for today. This has been very good dialogue, discussion, sharing, personal examples, as well as in general about, seniors and self-care. So we see that self-care is vitally important for everybody at any age point, bracket, developmental stage. this is what we're going to do. So we're going to close out. We're going to have you both concerning seniors and self-care, whether there's any senior person listening right now or a caretaker listening or looking now, or some people will watch the replay. We're going to ask you both to, you could choose to speak to the seniors or to the caretakers of seniors. Either way is fine. I'll let you guys decide. Just give us some closing remarks, either to the seniors or the caretakers of seniors, and ways people can reach you.
I'll go ahead. Mom, I love you, but take care of yourself. I'm fine. I'm doing well. I will always be fine and doing well, just like you raised me. You continue to do your best. Work your plan. She has a retirement plan. That's what we went over today. So she is paying attention of her retirement plan, of her options. Stick with it, and I'll be with you every step of the way until the day you close your eyes. I promise, Ma.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's good.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I'll say just to salute to my queen who is here with me, that I love her very much. You know, people said, man, you did what? You 40 and you moved in with your parents? Are you crazy? Well, I must be, because I would do it again. Anything for this woman who, again, is giving me not only life, but life on top of that life. And so I want her to know how much I love her and how proud of her I am for pushing through all the stuff we talked about today. It's not easy. And so she's doing it. Some days a little bit better than others. Some days a little bit easier than others, but I want her to know how proud of her I am. And I'll say really quickly, anybody who is caregiving for their parents, we salute you. We see you, but please do two things. One, go get Dion's book, and two, take good care of you.
Absolutely.
Much as you love your parents, you can't take good care of them if you don't take good care of yourself.
That's right. Because when they dead and gone and you left by yourself, right? I'm gonna leave it like that.
Yes, sir.
That's true. Awesome. How can people reach out to you guys if they want to connect with you, if you're open to that?
I can be found on social media under my full name, Kenneth Clemens. I have a YouTube page, Kenneth Clemens. I'm not very active on YouTube, but I do have some videos of exercises that I did on there during the COVID pandemic. Oh. So, and I have some other meal prepping videos on there, exercises for teenagers. I have some, but mainly Facebook. You can contact me on Facebook. That is the bulk of my contact information is on there.
Awesome. For me, across Insta, Twitter, Talk, I am LeVar Jones, and then on Facebook, my full name. Please know it is L-E, not L-A. It is L-E. You search for L-A, you will find someone else. L-E, capital V, because that's what Linda Risby Jones gave me, capital V, A-R Jones. So look forward to checking
That's right.
Interesting. Okay.
That's right.
All right. Thank you both. Thank you both for, I'm going to have you guys stay on for a few more moments when we end the broadcast. But thank you to our guests for coming and tuning in. For everyone that is viewing and listening to this broadcast live, as well as whoever will see the replay. You can also watch this video on YouTube, DMV Therapist, YouTube DMV Therapist. If you, let's see, there you go. If you go to my Instagram page, _DMV Therapist, and you click on Linktree, it'll give you access to everything that I'm doing media-wise, my website that is under new development, the book, my digital apparel shop, and other media networks of things I'm doing. Twitter, you can go to my IG, the _DMV Therapist, and click on Linktree, and here's the direct website link to the book as well. So we want to thank our guests and everyone for tuning in to another episode during our virtual book tour of Non-Negotiable Self-Care. And we hope and pray that everyone has been benefited by this discussion. Seniors that will see this later, caretakers and givers of seniors, etc. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.